we're spending a week with Thomas Jefferson and the Declaration of Independence and trying to figure out exactly what this incredible document, this very important document, has to say to us in such a deep way that we really understand what was Thomas Jefferson saying. Not just the stuff that you might read in a textbook, not just the stuff you may hear some people say like, oh yeah, July 4th, 1776, that's Independence Day, and that's all they know about it. What really did Thomas Jefferson want to tell us? What really is this document saying in Thomas Jefferson's own words? The Declaration of Independence, I mean, it's one of those seminal pieces in American history. We have to study it. And the reason that I picked it for my class is in Utah, the state core says that early American history is taught in 8th grade. In the Common Core, in the appendice, you find the Declaration of Independence index for an 11th grade level. So what I had to do is figure out a way to teach it. It's a document you can't bypass. So figuring out a strategy to do that and using Common Core strategies to dig through that document is really what I was after. Yesterday, this was the essential question. What did Jefferson state in the first section of the Declaration? Remember, Jefferson made two major points in the first section about in opening up his declaration. What were those 2 points? What were the 2 things? Matthew?
Freedom.
Okay. What is he saying about it?
Saying about the colonies to the Great Britain because they weren't treating them right.
Right. And what is it he says? Now, if you think, go back up a little bit. In the beginning of it, he talks about, before he even talks about Great Britain, before he even talks about the king and government stuff, he makes a point. Eric?
Being created equally.
Very good. Matthew was talking about the king and the government and that kind of thing. What is it that Jefferson says in that first chunk of the Declaration about the government, about the king? What is he talking about? What is he saying about the government? Yeah, Eric?
If we don't like our government, we can throw them out.
That's right. And if we don't like the government and we throw them out, then what do we do after that?
We can make a new one.
Perfect, Eric. That's exactly right. If we don't like the government, we don't want it, we throw it out, we make a new one. Exactly. Okay, so that kind of wraps up the first chunk, right? The first chunk of the Declaration. Yesterday we tackled the second chunk. And we realized that in the second part of the Declaration, the language got what yesterday? Harder. Yeah, it was harder. It was much harder, much more difficult language. Much bigger words, right? Harder to understand what was going on, but we went through it piece at a time, figured it out. So what is it? That's today's question. What points does Jefferson make in the second section? Matthew?
It says you can't throw them out for like little causes, little problems.
Very good. Yeah, you can't throw out the government for just little causes, right? He says that it's really got to be something big. If you're going to get rid of your government, if you're going to throw it out, if you're going to turn it over, it's got to be for a very good cause, right? Excellent. All right. So we've got Jefferson saying you can throw out the government, but only if.
Make it bad.
Not just if it's bad. It's got to be. Really yeah, it's got to be seriously bad, really bad. Okay. Yeah. Now, and then the last thing in yesterday's was he goes on and he talks about. He's been talking about the government and he's been talking about how you can throw them out and stuff, but then it gets personal. And who does he bring up?
King George.
The king, right, King George. He brings up King George. And what does he say about King George?
He's unfair. That he's a tyrant.
He's fat.
No, I think actually that was Benjamin Franklin who said that. So now we've got Jefferson saying, okay, the king, the government's done all these bad things. Yeah, you don't throw out the government lightly, but we should because they've done all these repeated injuries. They have committed abuses against the colonies. Okay, that kind of brings us up to where we are. So today we're looking at the third part. There are 4 parts we're looking at. Today's the third. Tuesday we're going to look at the last one. In this third part, I think you're going to find the language a little bit easier. So our objective is this. We're going to read through the third part. First I'll read it, just like we did before, so you can hear all the words. Then we're going to read it together so you get a chance to revisit it a second time. Then you're going to pull those keywords. Same thing we've done the last two lessons. Pull those keywords in order to be able to come up with a summary. What is it that he's saying? After all, the reason you guys know all this stuff is what we've done for the last 2 days.
We've been practicing.
That's right. summarizing and practicing what this is, right? So that's what we're doing today. We'll take a look at this, figure out what Jefferson is saying, what are his arguments, and then we'll move on to the last one on Tuesday, and then the rest of next week we'll be writing our essay about the Declaration. In looking at the Declaration of Independence, very difficult reading. For adults, this is difficult reading. So how to address it with 8th graders, especially a lot of 8th graders that are second language learners or read significantly below grade level. Some of the strategies that I used were a shared reading process where they listened to me read it first. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forgiven his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation. All right, now let me pass out the summary, then let's read, we'll do what we did yesterday. We'll share read it, I will start it, you guys will finish it with me, and then we will pull the key words of what Jefferson had to say. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. Class. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislature. He has affected to render the military independent of and superior to civil power. He has abdicated. We're going to pull 10 key words. This is a little longer than the other 2 chunks that we've been dealing with. However, I want to remind you of the rules for pulling key words. What's the first rule of pulling key words? Erica.
You must know what the word means.
Exactly, you must know what the word means. The whole process is built as an I do, we do, you do. So the first lesson they saw, I did it, and they observed me doing it. The last 2 lessons, we've been doing them together. And in this last one, I've turned it more over to them into small groups rather than a whole group.
Let's start from the top. So do you think we should get
Candidate.
candidate? Yeah, candidate sounds good. Wait, but what does it mean? It's
Like a contestant or something, like someone who's running for president.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, now remember, you can pick more than one word and call it a word,
Yeah.
but only not a phrase. So it'd have to be like an adjective going with a noun or an adverb with a verb. So you could say like, okay, so you could say like civilized nation, right? Because nation
one?
is a noun and civilized is the adjective, right? But you
So
couldn't
not like-
pick
yeah.
neglected to attend
Like a
because
phrase.
that would be a phrase.
Phrase?
Yeah, so you
Okay.
want to pick, if you want to say neglected, that's fine.
Okay.
Right, and then you could, in your summary, you could say, he neglected. Well, what did he neglect? He neglected. I don't know. What did he neglect?
To attend them?
Yeah, but to attend what? See, what's the thing? He neglected something. What was it?
To pass a law.
There you go. So you'd say he neglected passing laws, and I would take that. So see, but that way you're not. See, the idea is to summarize, not to restate. It's to figure out what he said. Yeah, if you wrote it down, you think you're just copying, right? You're not
Yeah.
really understanding what he's saying. So by picking just key words, you start to understand what Jefferson's saying, not just repeating what he says.
He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection, meaning he won't protect us.
Army of mercenaries to complete.
He has plundered our seas.
Wouldn't put that?
Didn't you know what that word meant?
Like,
Accommodation?
He has kept us among in times of peace.
Accommodation is like
He has kept among us
when you use
standing armies at the consent of the legislator. So this is the good part, right?
yeah.
He has kept among us in times of peace.
Well, right after that it says that they plunged their seas, burned their towns.
like good.
But in times of he, I think he's both a good guy and a bad guy.
The thing you have to remember about Common Core is that is a shift in your thinking, and that using complex text and teaching kids good analysis of that text is going to be a key component to achieving what the Common Core is after. So you're on an important part, it's true. So you're talking about, so you do know that what in times of peace, right? What you have to figure out is, in times of peace, what is the king doing? He says he's doing something in times of peace. What is he doing with it?
kinds
He's
of
standing armies.
Okay.
Without, he's doing it without like us keeping us happy.
Without asking us?
You are nearly brilliant.
He was
That's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you're getting right there. Okay, very good. So, in times of peace, he's got these standing armies, and they're doing. And say it again, because you guys are right. You guys are going to say.
they're not keeping us happy. They're not asking us. They're not making us. They're not satisfying us.
Yeah. Okay. Now take what Jefferson. Now use Jefferson's words to say that. Look what he says. Underline those words that are saying exactly what you're thinking now.
Wait.
Declaring us out of his protection.
Ah, now see,
Which
there you
war
go.
against
That's it. Very good, Keisha. You're right there. Yeah, that's what he's saying. Those standing armies are not doing what anymore?
They're not protecting us.
Brava. That's
They're just giving us taxes.
that. See, you guys are brilliant. I knew it. You guys could get. Yeah, exactly. Here's what we're doing next, folks. I'm going to ask some people to tell me what they thought were extremely key words that they found. And then we're going to have people, just by raise of hands, see if people agree. If they do, I'm going to underline it up here with red.
neglected.
Neglected. How many people went with neglected? Ah, you hit a red one. Neglected. Where's it at?
Unworth of civilized nation.
Okay, so what's the one you want to do?
Civilized nation.
Civilized nation. How many people took civilized nation?
That's a very good one, Mr. Bennett.
Okay, there you go. All right, good.
No, I want protection, yeah.
You want to go with protection?
Yeah.
Okay, protection. How many people picked protection as one of their words? Ah, you hit it. You hit a good one. Very good. Like I said, you can keep the words you picked. You can use some of these if you'd like. But what I'd like you to do now is do your summary. Figure out what is Jefferson saying. Use your keywords. And remember the important part is use Jefferson's words to describe what he's saying here. Later, you get to say in your own words what you think he's saying, but right now, I want you to use his words. Okay? Okay, go ahead and work on that. You've got about 7 minutes. This one right here. What is he saying about the laws? Read this, start here. Start right here, read this.
He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and present importance.
Okay, so what is he saying the king has done? He has done what with the laws?
Important laws.
What has he done with them?
Immediate.
This, okay, do you know what this one is? What that word is? What I want to do though is I want to share a couple that you think get at it. So I know. So who wants to be brave and read the one that they think's working? Keisha.
King George refused to pass the laws, basically destroy the people, and failed to protect their nation.
He has forbidden his government from passing laws. He has to attend them. He has destroyed with cruelty our colonies, and he is totally unworthy of our civilized nation.
After today, what you're going to be looking at would be one more lesson on the Declaration, the actual text of the Declaration. We have one more piece of that. And then what the students will be doing is they'll have 3 prompts that they're going to be writing a short essay to, 3 to 5 paragraphs, that analyzes what they've learned about the Declaration based on Jefferson's own writing. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you Tuesday. Nice work. Very good, very good. Okay, see ya.